God is moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Welcome to Young People Nation, and we're back with our third session with the Brooks, Khalil,
Hey.
and Kiara. These two young people, young, newly married couple. They
Let's
are
do
just so full of wisdom. And I just love how this young lady, she can sing. Woo.
Oh, yes.
She can
That's
sing.
the hype up for me. Thank
She
you.
Love
can
it.
sing. She can sing. She
Not
can
like me.
sing. Oh no, that's not your gifting, baby. But she can sing. She's an actress, and Khalil, Lil, as she call him.
Oh, yeah.
He is so much into helping the community and helping others, and he's building his own branding.
Yes, ma'am.
So stay tuned, okay? So we are honored to have you all back for the third session with Young People Nation. Now, we're definitely want to deal with our young people and anyone that's listening for that fact, but insecurities and self-esteem troubles. That right there, all of us can draw from this. And what are some of your insecurities or self-esteem troubles or lack of confidence?
I would say mine is at least rooted in when I'm struggling with comparison, and it makes me feel like I'm not enough. And then I start looking away from myself, thinking that I have to be something else. And that's where just not having a high esteem of myself comes from. And when I'm not fixed on those things, when I'm spending a little less time away from social media, when I'm just fixed on doing what I'm called to do, that is when I feel the most confident, honestly.
For me, I used to have insecurities a lot when I was younger. And self-esteem issues, like, it grew. So my self-esteem issues grew in high school. I want to say between 10th and 11th grade. It got hard. For insecurities, I used to be scared of, like, people mistreating me or people taking my kindness for granted, especially when I was in relationships. I used to be scared. I feel like, because I've been cheated on so many times, and I used to get scared that somebody would do it again and again. I'll project those emotions onto them and scare them away or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And with self-esteem, I used to think, okay, I must be not enough. I ain't that good looking then. But I got a big head. I used to make fun of myself in the mornings.
Sorry. I was trying to take it
Yo,
serious.
that's wild.
It's okay.
But I used to make fun of myself in the morning, be like, boy, you got a big head. Your ears don't match your head, boy. Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm thinking of? That picture of you as a kid.
Lord. But I had to grow out of that. I would say one thing that helped me was JRTC. It's student-led program. My sergeant major, he was a real big part of me being able to grow and get my self-esteem back and my confidence back, especially when I became a leader in that extracurricular activity. I was a lieutenant, and I had to lead other kids and be confident knowing what I'm doing.
Right.
Because if you don't have confidence, they're going to look at you like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. So it really helped me step up and really put confidence in myself and knowing like, okay, I can do this. People don't look at me like, because people always say I look good. When I didn't. I was like, what y'all looking at, man? I'm like, who y'all seeing? That's how bad I used to put myself down. I'd be in my head with the negative thoughts like, y'all must not see my head, but y'all, it's a peanut up here. What y'all talk about? But I've grown a lot. I had to stop worrying about what other people think about me. And just control what I can control. Especially with insecurity. When it came with insecurities, I had to control what I can control. If that person decided to do something, then that's on them. I'm a great guy.
Yeah, you gotta be able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah, I'm a great guy at the end of the day. I know what I can do. I know I have problems, but hey, look, I'm working on them. I'm here. I'm here.
You know what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And, sometimes the feeling of uncertainty can bring on anxiety. And so you have to really check yourself and find out, why am I spazzing out about this thing maybe I don't have no control over? And also when I was listening to you, Khalil, sometimes, let me ask you this, was the negative word that was spoken to you speaking more than the people that were saying that you look great?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I see that you can't let expectations of others influence your life, because I used to tell this all the time. When you look over there in that neighbor's yard and that grass is greener than yours, it isn't because they're great. They put more manure on that yard than you do on your own.
Yeah, I kind of want to add to that, because
So funny.
being like a female especially, but just a person in general, I feel like nobody really wants to be insecure. And sometimes when you're told, don't be insecure, don't have low self-esteem, you're like, well, yeah, of course. But I think that there also has to be an understanding as to why somebody has that. Everybody is not spoken into like other people. People don't always come from a background where they had a parent telling them that they're beautiful and that they're wonderful and special. Some people come from an environment that was always putting them down, and then they grow up as an adult and they're like, I don't even want these things associated with me, but they're so deeply rooted in me. And I think to continue to encourage somebody out of that low self-esteem space is to continue to give them exchanges for those things, and also not making it seem like we're always 100% confident, because we're human. And I think that honestly, having a sense of insecurity makes you dependent in a great way. It brings a level of humility. Sometimes knowing that you aren't enough isn't always a negative thing. Sometimes knowing that, wow, like, I really couldn't do this on my own. I have to depend on other people. I'm not the most qualified person on paper, but I'm here. And even if you have an insecurity, you're able to use that to the benefit of other things. I feel like sometimes we feel like we can't enter spaces because we don't have that strength, like we can't use our weaknesses for our good. But sometimes presenting the fact that you actually have a weakness shows other people that you are human, and more people need to know that, because if everyone is walking around with the air that we're just always put together and we don't ever feel like unsure of ourselves, it creates an illusion, and people don't really deal with the fact that it's there and it's gonna be there because we're human. It's just how we choose to handle it.
That's why it's important, and I like what you just said. It's important to create atmospheres where a person can be like, I'm not okay.
Yes, and just because you may feel strong in this environment doesn't mean that you feel strong in another environment. So it's just keeping a universal mindset that confidence is relative, in my opinion.
Okay.
So you have to keep being exposed to positive reinforcement,
I agree.
Yes.
But a lot of people are exposed to negativeness. I know I was, and it was like, if you didn't turn around, you wouldn't be able to open the door. I'd be like, wow, never being told anything to build you up and all like that, and you kind of like concentrate on things that come on social media or YouTube, because a lot of us fall under that, and YouTube becomes our guide. Because a lot of people follow Kim Kardashians and all like that all through life, and they don't have no life of their own.
I would, and I definitely would say that is a little bit of the societal pressure that we're so like, be confident, be this, always be together, always be strong, that people are hiding behind masks and illusions.
Right. Yes.
And the fact is, sometimes the greatest way to present yourself is when you don't have it all together, because it's like, it just reminds me of the scripture, like God's strength is made known in your weakness, but but culture tells us you can't be weak. And I just think that we just need to redefine what does it mean to be confident, because confidence isn't arrogance, confidence isn't a know-it-all also, because I think that it depends on how you define it. But I agree, because people are presenting perfection, and behind masks we think, oh my God, that's confidence, but what we're really chasing is an outward appearance of things. But if you strip all that away, what's going on internally?
Exactly. And that's henceforth, that's why we deal with the mental health, because that's where you have people that crash later. You'd be like, it's like Robin Williams. Who would have known he was dealing with what he was dealing with, that he ended his life? Because he had to always be like, to your point, put on like, I'm great, I'm funny, I'm this and that, but behind the scenes he was dying.
Yeah, we have to remember that words hurt.
And I feel like what I'm learning by the people that I'm watching and by the things that I see in myself, confidence is when you embrace all of you, good and bad, cute and ugly. It's not, confidence isn't just embracing high achievement or perfection, because when you strip that away, are you truly solid?
That plays a big part in being a parent, by giving out positive reinforcement constantly, constantly telling your kids and building them up and all like that. Cause you turn around and be telling your kid you're a dumb butt, they're gonna be a dumb butt when they grow up. I mean, that's what you put in there, and then you'd be surprised. Say, I didn't raise you that way. Yes, you did.
So, to what you just said, insecurities or negative words can ruin relationships. Okay, so have you all experienced that?
I most definitely have.
This is a Jeopardy question for him. He said,
For me, as a kid growing up, especially middle school years, middle schools were rough. I used to be called a lot of names, get picked on a lot. I got jumped before for no reason by a bunch of kids. I don't understand why it happened, but I did, because I was just the weakest out of the bunch. They used to pick on me, call me names, and carry it over to high school and stuff like that. I remember my dad. My dad, he's a great dad. I love my dad.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he
all
is.
the way.
Yes.
But some things he used to say, when I would try to do stuff like think for myself, he'd be like, "That's your problem. You thinking. Stop thinking. Do what I say," and stuff like that. It used to hurt me, because it was like, man, I'm trying to think for myself. I'm trying to be like you, Dad. I'm trying to be a man like you. I'm trying to one day grow for myself. But he kept putting that down on me. So now I'm in my adult life. And sometimes I struggle with it. Sometimes I want to be independent, just think for myself. And sometimes I get me in trouble with my wife. And she be like, "You're not including me in stuff like this. You're not including me in the decision making," because I'm over here thinking like, "Oh yeah, it's already decision made. I thought about this. I got this."
You don't want that kind of trouble.
Or like when she tried to give me advice, I'm hearing her, but at the same time I'm trying to think it out for myself. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And like she get frustrated, so I have to, those words do carry over into relationships and into adult life. So when you don't have that positive enforcement when you're a kid, it can hurt the ones that you love in the long run. I'm learning. I'm evolving from it. You know, I talk to my dad. I love him, man. I can't get, he raised me to be the best man he could be. Yeah,
Yes,
he didn't have that father figure in his life. So to see him grow and help me grow, I see him what he do with my little brother now. He's grown a lot. So much more patience with him than he did have with me and my brother. I'd be like, that will not fly. Because I mean, in my head, I said, that will not have fly. When I was younger, I said, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I just love the way he's evolving. I see what he's doing with his kid now. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him trying to build that relationship with us. And so I enjoy that. I love that.
That's a good relationship.
Yeah. And you learn to parent your grown adult children because they're adults. They're not kids, you know.
That's a rough issue there.
I want to ask this question because we're about to wrap up on how have you addressed the insecurities and the self-esteem troubles? Have you handled it holistically, spiritually, physically, and how do you maintain a place of peace and mental safety for yourselves?
I would first start with accountability. I think that, you know, you can be so used of talking negative about yourself, like, oh my gosh, I just feel so ugly, or oh my God, I'm so stupid, or oh my gosh, why am I like this, da da da. And you have somebody else come in my case, my husband, coming in and being like, why are you talking about yourself like that? That is, do you really see yourself like that? Because I don't see you like that. Nobody else sees you like that. You're saying you're this and you're that, but that's not true. I think, starting with accountability and having somebody speak to those lies and making sure, with what you were saying, positive reinforcement, and then having that awareness and praying about it, but then also redirecting your mind by speaking something else. But you have to, sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing it. So you have to kind of assess that.
That's good.
Yeah. I would say getting over like how I got over mine. Like she said, I reinforce her all the time when she tried to talk herself down because that's something I had to do for myself. Like I said, I didn't really have nobody in my corner to like, bro, you was not looking like that. You was not ugly, bro. I ain't had that, so I had to like find that for myself. That's why I'm so independent and trying to think for myself sometimes, because like I have to depend on me. At the end of the day, it's me. You know, I always try to pep talk myself and be like, hey, you look good today, bro. I try to just like, I know my brother and my dad used to be like, boy, you cannot match for your life. Like, and that was right. I ain't from the cap. My fashion sense was not it. She helped me pick my fashion sense out. My wife, get out here if you need fashion tips.
Oh Lord.
She helped me, and that boosts my confidence a lot more. So whenever I'm with her, you know, I feel confident. So when I'm confident, I know she got to be confident because I'm gonna put that confidence in her because she put it in me.
Yes, the exchange, love it.
And even as we put it in one another, we still have to encourage each other. You have to have this individually. Like, we can't just be confident because we're in a relationship.
Yeah,
we have to be working on building ourselves up, being our own cheerleaders.
Individuality, but bring collectiveness.
Bring it.
Okay.
I know I had to come to a point where I couldn't dial all nines. I had to dial BIBLE to have a right perspective of life. It don't fail. It's proven. It's a proven method that works.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay, we're wrapping it up, and this has been very good on self-esteem and insecurities, and thank you all so much for your transparency, okay? And we like to give out hotlines because, again, you never know who's listening. You never know. So there is a 988 hotline. There's a text 741 to 741, and there's also a 211 for general community resources. Okay, Mr. Perry.
Hey, I found that life, God does work. He doesn't have a busy number, and every time you call him, he always show up. And he'll prove to you whether you are living a life or you just existing. He'll let you know. This has been Young People Nation, and remember, there is always hope.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know His word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the #1 prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the Savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what He gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by His love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.